Welcome. Thank you for tuning into the video today. This is a topic that I am particularly excited about because the things I'm going to cover in this video are a culmination of years of work with clients and thousands of hours and sessions with clients that have basically taught me boils down to 5 simple ways to be the best you and live the healthiest life that you want. Now, there could be other things and these things could be teased out a bit more, but these are just some of the basic things that come out. Also, as we're in the time of COVID and who knows what's going to happen with that. And a lot of people, things are uncertain and maybe you've been laid off or you've been furloughed or work looks differently. A lot of these simple ways that I'm going to cover today could really help create a more healthy, more well-balanced lifestyle. So really good stuff in general, but may apply even more so in the time of COVID. So the first point is something I like to call rhythms. And you could call this a routine or a schedule, but it's really important to create rhythms and to stick with them. So you've probably heard stuff like this before. Go to bed around the same time every day. Get up around the same time every day. Eat breakfast, eat meals throughout the day, depending how you've worked that out, but keep some kind of rhythm, some kind of schedule. Even if you're laid off from work, you can maybe spend a little time enjoying the free time, or, if you're on vacation or something, you're obviously going to maybe enjoy that little bit of free time. But what I notice a lot in my clients is that people really struggle with vices or other things in life that they're trying to control, whether it's, being healthier with food or drinking or exercise, is that when we get off those rhythms, that's when we struggle. So we really want to try to get a habit of getting into a rhythm and having the discipline of sticking with it. And so create a schedule, and it can include fun activities and relaxing activities. It doesn't all have to be work, but something that you can kind of stick with and do every day. Number 2, having a mix of both play and productive. So it's a great time, especially in life in general. It's important to have, our work, or maybe we stay at home with kids, or maybe we volunteer, or there could be productive ways that we fill our time. There could be a million other ways that you feel like you're productive. And I do think that's important. Finding ways to be productive or to feel productive, even if you're not necessarily working like a traditional job. But then also having some play thrown in there. Balance is important. You see people who work so much that they don't have fun, or people who don't, work a lot or have anything that makes them feel productive, and then they struggle. So if you think of even when COVID started, I think of people who were maybe laid off, or, furloughed for a few weeks. Maybe the first couple of weeks were a lot of fun, binge watching TV and stuff, but then it kind of felt like there wasn't a lot of purpose. It's not really a productive lifestyle. So I would encourage you to find a mix of both of those. Even if they're small things, productive things. They don't have to be massive things, but even just little things in your day that can help. And if you go to work, and if you work a traditional, maybe 40-hour-a-week job, you're going to feel productive in there, hopefully. So the next piece of that is to also have things to do that you enjoy and that are life-giving to you. One of the things, this is a skill in a type of therapy called dialectical behavioral therapy, or DBT, but it's called opposite action. And what happens a lot in our lives is that, for example, right now, or if the weather right now, it happens to be fall and the weather is changing, it's getting colder, it's getting darker. In Michigan, it is getting gloomier, and so a lot of people will start to feel more depressed, and we definitely feel that throughout the winter. And so what ends up happening is a lot of times we might just want to isolate or be alone or not do anything. And the opposite action skill says you literally get up and do the opposite. So if your sense is to isolate and you're feeling like, yeah, I'm isolating and I shouldn't be doing this, or it'd be better for me if I don't, literally get up and do the opposite. Go be around people. If your instinct is to lay in bed and do nothing, don't move to the couch and watch TV. Go out and do something active, or go do something that is not just laying around. And then something that is big, if you're capable, is doing some form of exercise or movement. And that's really important in just getting endorphins going, getting you out, getting your body moving. And so keep that in mind. So we've got rhythm so far, mix of play of and productive. Number 3, and this is more specific to the time of COVID, but Social distancing is not social isolation. And so we want to be safe and we want to follow the guidelines for being safe and what what local authorities are saying, are limits for gatherings and stuff. But remember, it's not it's social distancing, not social isolation. So find ways to connect with people, play games online, video chat. You can contribute to other people. I mean, you could find ways to maybe the people in your life, you can write them encouraging letters. There's a lot of online communities to join. Cities have the meetup, groups online where they're doing stuff online right now. And I know a lot of people say they don't really feel connected when they do things with people online. Sometimes they feel a little more empty even after, but there are still other ways to connect with people. There's so many websites for games with people and video chat while you're playing games, or people do Netflix parties where they watch movies together and you video chat. You could talk about it. And so there's a lot of really creative ways, especially now with how advanced our technology is, to stay connected. Number 4 is to limit social media, news, and or conspiracy theories. So this is something I've seen a lot of in my clients. And again, not just COVID related, but in general. A lot of people that I work with have started to say they've deleted social media apps from their phone, which means that if they want to get on, they get on their computer, which causes them to be a little bit more intentional. They're not just like sitting on this couch, I call it the doom scroll, where you're just scrolling, and you don't even know that an hour went by. You're a little less likely to do that if it's on maybe the computer. You have to kind of go out of your way a little bit more to do that. And in general, it's good to be informed. It's good to pay attention to the news. But what I've been finding in my work is that there is so much consumption of news and media that it ends up causing us a lot more stress than it does help us. So I'm not saying don't be informed. I'm just saying in moderation. Be careful how much you're taking in. And some people I work with, these, Facebook and conspiracy theories has literally increased their paranoia and has caused a lot of, residual issues because of that. Be informed, but don't go down rabbit holes and spend all day chasing stuff. And then also just connected to that is staying away from negativity. There's a lot of negative in the world right now, and I'm not saying that we have to just be positive all the time and ignore that negative things are happening. Just again, be mindful of how much you're absorbing and how that's affecting you, because it might be for you, you find that it's not bad for you to watch the news or check in on the news to know what's going on, but maybe for you, it's not super healthy that it's the first thing you do in the morning when you roll over in bed. Maybe for you, that doesn't bother you and it's cool. You go ahead and do it. But if it does, you can get your news, just wait a little bit till you've warmed up so you don't necessarily start your day off with all of that negativity. And then the last one, number 5, is to limit substances. And so, especially during COVID, I think I read an article in maybe April that said alcohol sales were up 55%. I've talked to a lot of people about that, and there was definitely an increase of alcohol consumption. And if people were bored, they were drinking more. Drug use, it seemed, up as well. People were stressed. They didn't know about money. They didn't know about their jobs. Maybe they didn't have anything to do. And again, when we get off our rhythms, which was point number 1, that's when we struggle more. So really try to limit your substances. I know it can be easy to just kind of use here and there, especially if you don't have to go into an office or you don't have to drive for work. But it does have an effect on our body chemically, which is also going to potentially maybe increase depression and other issues. So, there's potentially, even if you're not like getting drunk, just drinking, there's this sense of lethargy and not even wanting to get out of bed or do other things, and I've seen it lead to weight gain, and so there's just a lot that it's connected to. But those are the 5 things that I've kind of seen with working with people over time that have been really effective, and then that really can transfer over to this time with COVID. So I think the number 1 is maintaining rhythms or schedules, routine. Number 2, a mix of play and productive. Number 3, social distancing, not social isolation. Number 4, limit your social media, news intake, conspiracy theories. And number 5, limit your substances. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you found it helpful. Again, if you have any ideas for videos or things you'd like me to cover, feel free to message me. You can find my videos and other posts that I send out on Facebook under Supporting ACT Counseling. Also, you can follow us on Instagram as well as YouTube. I think I've got like 2 YouTube subscribers. So if you want to subscribe to me on YouTube, that'd be great. And I have all my information and everything else at supportingactcounseling.com. Thanks.